The Washington Post has issued an urgent call for Americans to act swiftly in protecting their health by getting vaccinated before January 20th, 2025. In her November 28th article, "Should I Get My Vaccines While I Can? Your Questions Answered," Dr. Leana S. warns readers about the potential consequences of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s nomination as Health and Human Services Secretary under President-elect Donald Trump. This unusual plea underscores how the extraordinary has become the norm in an era marked by the erosion of long-standing public health safeguards. Dr. Wen, a respected physician and public health advocate, advises individuals, particularly those in high-risk groups, to consult their doctors and receive all eligible vaccines, including COVID-19 boosters, flu shots, and those for shingles, pneumococcal pneumonia, and RSV as soon as possible. The urgency stems from the likelihood that Kennedy, a vocal vaccine skeptic, may move to remove vaccines like the COVID-19 shot from the CDC's recommended schedule. Such a move would strip these vaccines of their current insurance coverage mandates, rendering them unaffordable for millions of Americans. That the Washington Post has felt compelled to sound such an alarm is a stark indicator of the times, reflecting the uncertainty and anxiety surrounding the incoming administration's public health agenda. This level of urgency from a major publication is not business as usual. It is a symptom of an era where foundational norms have been disrupted and politicized. Under Kennedy's proposed leadership, the United States faces the prospect of an 8-year freeze on federal funding for infectious disease research, which would dismantle decades of progress and undermine preparedness for future pandemics. Dr. Wen cites the NIH's pivotal role in combating COVID-19 through over $4 billion in research funding as an example of what is at stake. The risk of losing such infrastructure is profound, threatening both the health of Americans and the global standing of U.S. public health leadership. Contextualizing these developments within a broader global framework, Wen draws parallels to authoritarian regimes like Hungary and Russia, where public health systems have faltered under politicized governance. In these contexts, science has often been sidelined in favor of ideological agendas, leading to diminished global influence and increased suffering at home. If the United States follows a similar trajectory, it risks losing not only its credibility but also its ability to protect its own citizens from preventable health crises. The emerging bird flu threat further illustrates the stakes. California recently reported the first U.S. pediatric case of H5N1 avian flu, raising alarms about human-to-human transmission or unknown vectors. While vaccines for bird flu exist, they remain unapproved by the FDA, a process that could be deprioritized under Kennedy's influence. This scenario echoes the Trump administration's 2020 decision to withdraw from the World Health Organization, a move that weakened pandemic response efforts globally. A repeat of such isolationist policies could leave the nation and the world more vulnerable than ever. What makes the Washington Post's stance particularly notable is its break from the typical journalistic role of reporting facts without explicit calls to action. The urgency in Dr. Wen's message, advising Americans to secure their health before potential policy changes take effect, reflects a deep concern about how abnormal realities have become normalized under Trump's leadership. The idea of an incoming administration actively reducing access to life-saving vaccines would have been unthinkable just years ago, but today it looms as a distinct possibility. Dr. Wen concludes with a faint glimmer of hope, acknowledging Kennedy's shared goals of addressing childhood obesity and improving school lunches. Yet she cautions against letting these points of agreement distract from the larger stakes, the undermining of public health as a cornerstone of national security and well-being. Her message is clear. Americans must act now to protect themselves, not only against preventable diseases, but also against the broader erosion of public health systems in a political era where the extraordinary has become the norm. This call to action by the Washington Post is as much a reflection of these turbulent times as it is a plea for vigilance. The normalization of such crises demands a renewed commitment to protecting science, health, and the institutions that safeguard them. Please subscribe to the Intellectualist's new YouTube channel, where we present insightful videos analyzing the current events shaping the world. Turn on notifications to receive the latest updates from the channel.